back to the Inner Alchemist TV. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Carlos King versus the bloggers. I've been seeing it in my timeline that channels have been getting struck. I mentioned that I got a copyright strike. No, it didn't have anything to do with this. It was not by another person. It was something that I did. And like I mentioned in the video, I simply just took the reading down and did it over, and I got through with no problem. But I wanted to take a look at what is going on with these copyright strikes. I think Love and Marriage Huntsville has been around for a while, which means that bloggers have also been around for a while. So why now? What is this all about? So I decided that I would take a look into the cards and see what would come out. So that's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing today. Go ahead and like the video. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Happy Lover's Day. I wish you all well. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, that you have your notification bells on. And look, let's jump right in. So, listen, this is a mess. All right, so Carlos got some secret information that it was being told, or it was being rounded up, that people were going to be withdrawing their support, right? So somebody either emailed him or text messaged him with this Eight of Wands. I'm looking at the Hierophant, the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups up right now. And the Hierophant is about secret information. The Hierophant and the High Priestess can be about secret information. And with this Hangman, I feel like this is something that was not initially known to Carlos, but something that he started to observe himself as well. But it was communicated to him through email or through text message or through some type of like computer correspondence that some groups were arranging to remove their support or withdraw their support from him. Now, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think that this has something to do with the guy Anthony Lofty's. I think that he may have been the one to communicate this to Carlos in some type of way. I don't know if this was fabricated, but it seems like he unveiled or released some hidden information, or he had some receipts or text messages where it was being shown that people were ganging up or gathering up to withdraw their support of Carlos or the show, right? Carlos then decided that he was going to make an example, and that he had to sacrifice some people in order to send out kind of like a bird call, or sort of like a firing or warning shot to people. He's coming in as the Ace of Swords energy towards this, so I feel like he wanted to send some type of message that was clear and concise and very powerful and very mentally violent. I feel like he also wanted to take people off the peg a little bit, but this has a lot to do with his ego. Carlos is very used to being celebrated with the Six of Wands, and he expects the reverence and appreciation from women in specifically. I feel like he only has a desire to be opposed by men, and he feels deep inside that women should stay in their place. There's a misogynistic tone to him. This is not the first time that I've seen this. I've seen him have sort of like a homoerotic interplay when it comes to men and male dominance. But with women, I don't show that he's so willing to play that game. He expects women to cheer him on, to support him, and to aid him in his victory across the board. And if they don't, he kind of goes into this Emperor in reverse type of energy. And the way that he does that is with the Ace of Swords energy. The Ace of Swords is about laying down the mantle. The Ace of Swords is about cutting people off and cutting through the fluff of things with no second chances. The Ace of Swords is about flexing your power and issuing consequences. But it's also a show of his strength. And I feel like this is a clear message letting people know that he is the boss. But what he's not letting them know is his true intentions, which is, it seems like some type of hurt ego. But it's not really a hurt ego, because his ego can't be hurt, because he knows at the end of the day he has the power. But what it is that he's not going to accept anything less than people celebrating him, people putting him on a pedestal, and people supporting his endeavors with this Six of Wands. Period, point blank. Now, like I said, I believe that Anthony Lofty's plays a part in this, because the Hermit is here in reverse in an external position. Now, I remember a long time ago when I did Anthony Lofty's spread, he came up as the Hermit in that spread. Now, in reverse, this is a person who is basically, like I said, just a person who is kind of like a misanthropist. They don't have a social regard for people. They have a basic hostility, and they don't trust people. However, they're not above leveraging this. They're not above using this information when it comes to their benefits. In Anthony Lofty's case, his benefit is this Ten of Pentacles. I have the Hermit in reverse clarified by the Ten of Pentacles. And his ancestors, his demon team, told him to get on demon time and get this bag. So it is very possible that he was cash out something for this information, particularly with this Eight of Wands. I feel like he was given a pretty penny for this intel. Now, again, this intel was regarding the withdrawal of support from Carlos and maybe even the show. But this is not an open conversation. I feel like he may have observed some conversation. It looks like he has been watching some of these bloggers' channels, and he has been hearing about them talking about withdrawing support. But I don't feel like he paid that much attention to it until he got this email clarification or this intel. Or even I feel like maybe this Anthony Lofty's person is possibly been in Carlos's back pocket all along, and that his role in the situation is to keep track of what people are doing in the background, particularly when it comes to the women. So I feel like he's always been, I don't want to say a secret spy, quote unquote, but I feel like he does have or has been privy to that secret intel. The thing about him is that he's for himself. He don't trust nobody. He don't trust Carlos. He don't trust no women. So his thing is, he's all about the highest bidder. Whoever's going to give him that money, he's resigned this shit down to the bag. You know what I mean? If you have the bag, then he's probably going to help you with that. But he holds some of the cards. He's only going to give you part of the information and tickle you a little bit. So whatever he told Carlos, it was just the tip of the iceberg. He just tickled his fancy a little bit. He did not give him or disclose to him the whole truth. But because Carlos is coming in as somewhat of an egomaniac, he feels like he needed to sacrifice some people in order to send a message with this Eight of Wands and make an example. I'm looking at the Hangman and the Eight of Wands and this Ace of Swords. I feel like this was somebody who was sacrificed to make an example to others about rounding people up, about their influence and about their power, and to let people know that he is where it's at and where it's going to stay at. Period. Now I have the Eight of Cups here. This is definitely showing that there's a mature group of people that have correctly assessed what's going on with Carlos, and their withdrawal or rounding up of the withdrawal of support from him was legit. It wasn't emotional. It was about concrete evidence and concrete things that they've seen about the way that he moves. And they feel like maybe he's not growing. Maybe shit is just going around in circles. They feel like there's no growth direction in the show, period. And actually, they were the ones that were willing to sacrifice him. Now, I find it funny that with this Eight of Cups and this Hangman, I'm showing two cards of sacrifice. I'm showing them willing to sacrifice their relationship with the show and Carlos because they feel like it's not growing. It's just staying the same. And him willing to sacrifice a couple of people to make an example about people rounding up or speaking against him in any type of way, because he does have that tender, insecure ego. You know what I mean? This Ace of Swords, or the striking of the channels, this Ace of Swords in this spread represents those channel strikes. And again, it was just a flexing of power. It was to make an example. Period. I show that whatever this group is that suffer from this, I do show that they are looking for a resolution of the problem. But for the most part, this is a group that is looking for some type of evolution in the show. And like I said, there's some legitimate concerns about the growth direction of the show. And it's sad that he took it to mean that they were doing some personal affront to him, when really they were this group, and it is a group of mature women, which I take as maybe being like older women in some type of way. But they really just were concerned that there's no evolution of the show. But I also feel like he was like concerned about the bond that they have, and the companionship that these women have, even in their ability to link up and have one accord, or be on one accord, or one opinion, or to round up and have conversations about him at all. That's not what he likes. He likes for women to be separate, but to be all on his side. He doesn't care if women are on two different camps. He doesn't care if it's multiple different types of women wearing different clothes, speaking different languages. As long as everybody has the common goal of celebrating him, he can let you rock. But when he finds that you are able to like think for yourself, or you're able to assess what's going on and make some type of criticism about him, then he will flex on you. And I believe that there's a heavy misogynistic undertone to that, because he does believe that women have a place, and he believes that that place is to support him even as a gay man. The Knight of Cups is here. That's my fruitcake card. Not always, but again, it's somebody that stands proud in their ability to seduce you and to maintain your love and to maintain your affections. And when you reject that, like you did with this Sun card in reverse, the Sun card in reverse shows me a lack of happiness about it, but it also shows me people recognizing him as being a egomaniac or a megalomaniac or something like that. Now, there's a lot of activity surrounding this situation. But again, with this Sun card in reverse and this Knight of Cups and this Six of Wands, Carlos is moving strictly out of arrogance and pride. Something hurt his ego. Something that was said hurt his ego. You know what I mean? But I think what hurt his ego was the astute assessment of what he's doing. And somebody said something about his lack of growth mentally. Somebody said something about his mental capabilities or his mind or something like that. There was a mature older woman or man, it doesn't matter, who pinpointed that he ain't that smart or that he's not growing or something like that. And he took offense to that. And like I said, I think he took it out on who he thinks of as the head of the groups, not because he was necessarily offended by the head of the group, but because he needed to make an example out of what he considers the ringleader. He wanted to flex his power against that person anyway, which would be the host, not because he's particularly offended by that person specifically, but to make the example for everyone else. It was strictly a power move. And again, it's something because of something he observed or something that he heard. Now, he's coming up as the emperor, in reverse. And the Emperor in reverse is an interesting character because he's tyrannical. But there's some secrets about the Emperor in reverse, which is that the Emperor in reverse has a mental dependence on people, right? So what that means is that even though Carlos plays the role when it comes to women, like he's the ringleader, what really happens is that he's dependent on women's support of him or approval of him or applaud of him or positive feedback of him or constant praise of him. He's dependent on that for his survival. And if he doesn't get it, he becomes very cruel and oppressive towards women. You know what I mean? But it's because he has a psychological dependency on the approval of women. Now, this could be true for a lot of gay men. That's why I say sometimes that gay people have a silent war against black women. I don't want to get in my pro-black bag because I gave that up. But I want to say this. I feel like there's a tinge within some gay men that turn black women against heterosexual men, because not only do they have a beef with the heterosexual men regarding being bullied or maligned, but they also have a beef with black women regarding being judged or being sissified. or being not perceived as men, or even being coddled sometimes because of their perceived weakness, because of their being quote unquote sissies. You know what I mean? Now, with Carlos, I don't show that early on in life he may have gotten that approval or that nurturing from women. But I feel like as time went on, he began to get that, you know, through his endeavors, maybe through the show or through externally, but not in his family with this 10 of Pentacles. And I feel like he became dependent on it. And so his bartering became, I will make you a star, I will give you hope, but in return, I need you to support my psychological dependency while propping up my ego and not shining light on the fact that I need you to be a star just as much as you need to be a star. He needs these women to be stars so that they can praise him. It's not because he needs them to be successful or achieving something. He just needs them to recognize him and constantly applaud him and prop him up, because he's psychologically dependent upon the approval of women. And if he finds a place where he's unable to get that, then he becomes very cruel and very oppressive, very tyrannical, like I said, with this Emperor in reverse, and even obsessed. I show that he obsessively watches some of you bloggers, or some of the bloggers. He listens for every nuance. He listens to see who has the control, who has the juice. I feel like he uses Anthony Lofty's to pinpoint who the main characters are or who he needs to be aware of. I feel like somebody is sending him videos with timestamps with this 8 of Wands. I feel like he's getting that information externally, but again, I feel like he's also doing it to make an example. And his final straw was because people were talking about withdrawing support, and they were talking about it for the right reason. That's his concern. He doesn't mind gossip and frivolous talk, but there's a woman who has pinpointed him, and he's upset with her specifically. She's mature, she has a sound mind, and she called him right. She may even be sick though, or she may be somebody that either works from home or that spends a lot of time at home. I'm showing that this is a woman who is somewhat, like, I don't want to say immobile or stationary, but she doesn't move around a lot. You know what I mean? And maybe she has the gifting of sight or the gift of being able to see through people. But he heard her, or he witnessed her, or like I said, Anthony Lofty's may have told him about her. And he started to watch and observe this person. But I think that another person caught like a stray bullet. Whoever got struck by him, I think you were a stray bullet. I think it's because maybe it was your platform, or maybe you were just the loud voice, but it's really not about you. You're just being sacrificed. It's not about you. You're not the one that caused the ego blow or the narcissistic injury. You're not. Carlos has some hidden plans right now. They're in effect right now. Right now, in this moment, there's something that he has hidden. I don't want to say, like, I don't want to use words like espionage because it sounds crazy, even to me, just to even talk like that. But I'm looking at this 7 of Swords, and this is the outcome. And I feel like, listen, I feel like there's something going on. He has a goal that he's trying to achieve, and he's lying about it. He's using another male to do it. The King of Cups, which is kind of like, I don't know, like a soft person, I want to say. But I feel like oh my God. So is this with the Anthony Lofty's dude? No, because I saw him earlier in the spread, and I feel like his primary role was to transport that information or to give the intel. But I feel like there's an entirely different man. Maybe this man is going to be like, there could be another male blogger that's pretending to be like on the women's side or have a love of women. But this person has hidden intentions. There's another man in the mix that women also need to be aware of, because he's playing in y'all's faces. He's playing in y'all faces. I'm sorry. This is a person that's just doing some chit chatter, talking about nothing. Maybe bragging about their knowledge or their information or their game or how much they know. But they're trying to camouflage amongst you guys by looking like they're dumb and non-threatening. But that's not true. They're very sharp. They have studied and know exactly how to play on you guys and play on your emotions. I'm looking at the King of Cups and the Seven of Swords. I don't know if this has to do with Carlos or if this just has to do with the overall energy of the reading. But there's another man here. Carlos may be using this person because there is some deceptive or hidden intentions. But this person is giving me goofy. So I don't even think that Carlos will be using them per se. Unless he would be using that, running a test on that person to see if that person can be used in any type of way. This is a speaker or another blogger or another video content maker that's a male, but you're going to recognize them because they just talk. Idle chatter. Just talking, not saying nothing, but just running their mouth. You know what I mean? The Nine of Swords is here and the Four of Pentacles is here. So Carlos is trying to guard something. Like I said, I believe that he's guarding his right to admiration more than anything. I'm going to say that. I feel like he feels he has a right to be admired. And I feel like somebody has posed a threat to that in some type of way. And that's a no-go. But there is a sense of desperation. There's something looming here, you guys. Somebody is going to feel regret for something. Listen, I don't know if it's a blogger. If you guys watch these videos that I make, but be careful, because somebody is wants to make somebody feel it. With this nine of swords here, I feel like, I don't know if somebody, even with the pentacles here, I'm not going to say somebody wants to hit anybody in the pockets, because I don't show any losses. I will say that. But somebody wants to make people feel sorry that they ever did blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But I feel also that with this Four of Pentacles, maybe there's like a sense of greed or selfishness attached to this whole storyline as well. Not only greed in regarding the attention, but also greed in like feeling like there's not enough for everybody. Like everybody can't get a piece of the pie. Like somebody wants to make sure that they get the most of the pie or something like that. This may be just a beef amongst the bloggers. Excuse me. Because there is a feeling of greed or selfishness that's coming across right now in this spread. But I feel like it's independent a little bit of the Carlos spread. I feel like Carlos's ends where it's, I'm going to make you feel it. I'm going to make you feel remorse. But I feel like this greed storyline plays into this King of Cups, which is this other blogger who I feel like this person is like selfishly playing in people's faces, pretending to be on the side, but they're not. Even when I look at this Five of Wands, I feel like there's a male who's around. He's a chameleon. He's pretending to be of you, pretending to be like you. He's not. It's really out of greed and selfishness, and he's profiting off of pretending to speak your language, be on your side, think how you think, feel how you feel. He's deceptive. Who this is, I'm not sure. It's a male blogger. I don't think it's Carlos. I don't think it's Anthony Lofty's. I think it's a whole different person. Like I said, you're going to recognize this person because all they do is a bunch of idle chit chatter, and they're pandering. They're playing up to your emotions. They're playing up to being in support of you and your emotions, and it's not real. Right? That's what I got for Carlos King versus the bloggers. Listen, I told y'all it was messy. I knew it was messy when as soon as I laid these cards down, I was like, interesting. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Please sound off. Help me connect these dots because it adds a lot of context to my readings, and I love that. Make sure that you smash that like button. For those of you who are not subscribed, make sure that you hit that subscribe button right now. I'm on the road to 1,500. I need 75 subscribers. And yeah, that's where we're at with it, y'all. But listen, more important than any of that, tell me what y'all think about these cards and what they had to reveal on today. And I'll see you guys on the next one.